certainly improved.
Improved? He's been in our bedroom too many times for a man who can barely walk.
You surely can't grudge the man a few socks.
He comes in without knocking. We could be doing anything in there.
Not in a week, Kevin.
The point is, the house is not big enough for both of us.
He's not here often. He's usually out with Lucy.
Spending a fortune on her. How does he do that?
Credit cards. He hops from one to the other.
Well, he'll hop one too often, and it'll be a reckoning. Then what's going to happen?
I don't know.
It'll be a king.
He doesn't do that sort of thing.
What? Doesn't he? What the map of Sierra Leone and a fortune in uncut diamonds that turned out to look exactly like bath crystals. Remember that? Or the dating agency. The only trouble was they never had enough clients, so he put everyone he knew on the books, including your mother and me. When I pointed out I was engaged to you, all he could say was, "Okay, it's over my air." What about your poor mother? She turned up for her day just in time for the fellow's funeral. She got chased down the street by the widow. By the time she came home, justifiably distressed. What did Victor have to say? Oh, did they say anything about a subscription?
You're getting agitated talking about Victor. You know you shouldn't talk about him on an empty stomach. Now, why don't I cut you some sandwiches and you go out to the conservatory and transplant some seedlings?
I don't want to transplant seedlings. I want him out of here.
You've never liked my brother, have you?
Oh, don't say my brother like that.
Why not?
Then I know you're going to take his side.
He was wonderful to me when Father left us.
I know.
He was always there to catch me when I fell. He was the breadwinner at 16. And don't forget he saved me from drowning in Broadstairs.
I can't forget you left me. But just refresh my memory regarding the incident. Wasn't he the one who pushed you in the first place?
He still saved me from drowning.
Well, forgive my brother, Autumn often gone out with the tide.
Talking to yourself, Kev? You want to watch that? Something the matter?
You forgot your faithful hickory, Victor.
Throw it away, Kev.
What?
Don't need it.
Why?
Acupuncture. Little place off the high street. 20 needles in the thigh, 10 in the calf. Ah, I feel like a new man. Do you know what this is, Kev?
Well, it's too small to be the ring.
The ring.
The pigeon ruby with homing instincts.
I don't understand.
She'll be leaving soon. Isn't this the time you sweep off her feet, propose marriage, solve all your money problems? Well, when the vicar asks if there's any just cause or impediment, I shall be there with bells on.
What makes you think I have money problems, Kev?
You're wearing my socks.
A temporary embarrassment.
You know the feeling?
I wouldn't propose to Lucy. She barely knows me.
Oh, you mean you haven't,
What?
No?
No, certainly not. She's barely out of mourning. No, this is just a small gift to show her how much I appreciate her friendship.
Where did you get it?
Rogers in the marketplace.
Yeah, some nice stuff. These diamonds look almost real.
They are real. Look at the price tag.
£10,000? You haven't got £10,000.
Some approval.
They let that out with the stop on approval. I don't believe it.
I gave the manager an excellent reference.
You must have done. Who was it?
You.
What? I haven't got £10,000. I'm still cleaned out from rock-fast investments.
Calm down, Kevin. You won't need to find the money. It will be back in the shop by this afternoon.
I thought you said you were going to give it to Lucy.
I am, but she won't accept it.
She won't.
Put yourself in her shoes. She always says I've spent too much money on her. She can barely accept such an expensive gift from someone she hardly knows.
Why not let you in?
I'll give it to her. Well, when she receives this, her cheek will be flushed and her eye will be bright. She'll say to me, I can't accept this Victor, even. I can't accept this Victor. You can't. flushed and her eye will be bright. She'll call me a fool, but her voice will be gentle. She'll look at me in a different manner, as someone who doesn't give a fig about money, as someone who's prepared to make the ultimate gesture. And it won't have cost me a penny.
You crafty devil.
Just somebody who knows women, Kevin. You've got to be subtle. When you're going to throw a brick at a cat, you can't make sudden movements. You've got to move by stealth. And then whack! The cat doesn't know what's hidden. It's the same with the opposite sex.
Oh, am I interrupting something?
No, I was just going to plant some seeds.
Lucy, I'd like to say something to you. As you know, I'm a man of few words, a rough fellow, more familiar with the campfire than the drawing room. Unaccustomed to the company of women.
Except for the nun.
Well, there always was the rosary between us.
And there was no one else in all those years.
I was far from civilization amongst primitive tribes. Oh, the natives adored me. The white man whose stick spoke thunder. But it was very difficult to get close to them. In fact, you're the first unattached woman I've been with in years who's not covered in rancid animal fat.
I suppose that does give me a bit of an advantage.
You have been happy these last weeks, Lucy?
I had a wonderful time, Victor.
I thought so. And that gives me the strength to speak out, to reach for the sacred chalice, to knock, albeit timidly, on the gates of love.
Is that how they talk around the campfire?
Oh, man can dream. He can look into the flames and see a greener land, softer skies, and a gentle woman cutting flowers for the home. Are you laughing?
No, I'm not. I'm sorry, I'm not.
Oh, I can't blame you. I must seem a comic figure.
No.
My problem is I've spent so many years pursuing wealth, I've forgotten how to talk to a woman. Perhaps this small gift will express my feelings better.
No, I couldn't. You've spent enough on me already, Victor.
Please.
Victor, it's beautiful. It must have cost thousands. It must have been terribly expensive. It is terribly expensive.
Dad, did I leave the price tag on?
Yes. But it doesn't matter. It's beautiful. I've never seen anything so beautiful in my life. What can I say?
I see. How can I be so insensitive? I know what you're trying to say. You can't accept it. You can't accept such an expensive gift from a man you barely know.
Oh, well, I wasn't quite trying to say that.
It's okay, Lucy. You won't offend me. If you want to take it back, then I won't be offended. I'd be hurt, but I will understand. And then perhaps in the future, when we know each other better, you'll accept this gift in the right spirit.
Oh, but I wouldn't want to hurt your feelings.
But my feelings don't come into it. You must follow your instinct.
Well, my instinct is to keep it.
What?
I can't wait to show you that.
So she didn't reject it gently but firmly then.
No.
Thought you understood women.
I forgot that where diamonds are concerned, women become slightly deranged.
You're supposed to return it this afternoon.
I know. So when she comes back, tell her you don't like it.
But I do like it.
Well, perhaps you'd like to pay for it.
Oh, I don't like it that much.
Remember whose name I gave as a reference, Kelly?
Oh, I don't like it at all. But what difference will my opinion make?
Well, you're a man. Why do you think women wear jewellery? It's to attract men. If it doesn't attract you, then it may make her think.
Oh, Kevin, look at the bracelet that Victor's bought for Lucy. Isn't it beautiful? What's the matter? Don't you like it?
Not really.
Oh, don't be silly, Kevin.
No, let Kevin have his say. He's entitled to it. Don't you think so, Lucy?
Well, yes, it doesn't really matter because I like it.
Of course, and why should Kevin's opinion, honestly hell, be of any concern to you? After all, he's looking at it from the point of view of a man.
Yes, a mean one. When we became engaged, my diamond was the smallest in the shop. I kept thinking it had fallen out.
It's only my opinion.
Why do you have to belittle everything my brother does?
Well, I don't think Kevin's concerned about the price. He just doesn't like it.
He hasn't got to wear it.
Are you suggesting it's a shade vulgar, Kevin?
Yes.
I must admit, I hadn't thought of that.
Neither had I.
Still, we must respect Kevin's opinion.
Why? When he goes to the jeweller's to get his watch cleaned?
Well, I think what Kevin's trying to point out is something we've all missed. Exploitation.
Exploitation?
Of the poor devils who've had to dig those diamonds out of the ground, suffer starvation wages, falling on the floor for malnutrition and disease, only so that they can adorn pampered Western women. That's what you're getting at, isn't it, Kevin?
Yes.
Yes, I must admit, I hadn't seen that until Kevin spoke out. Perhaps you think something simple in gold would be more appropriate, Kevin?
Yes.
Oh, shut up, Kevin.
It's all right, Val. I don't want something simple in gold. I'm sorry about all those men collapsing and everything. But the diamonds are out of the ground now, and you can't put them back. I'm going to go see what this looks like on my red dress.
How dare you speak to Lucy like that?
What did I say?
Well, it's one thing to have an opinion, it's another thing to be rude. And did you consider Victor's feelings in all this? I wish somebody felt thought enough of me to buy me an expensive diamond bracelet.
Oh, did you hear that?
Well, perhaps you were a little outspoken, Kevin.
What's we going to do now? What to go back this afternoon?
Keep calm, I'm trying to think. What if we were to say that the bracelet was second-hand, that it had once belonged to the unhappy Bristol family?
Bristol?
The bracelet that brought the family endless bad luck, that Josiah had acquired the bracelet around the time of the Indian Mutiny. He was the one they found at the bottom of the Black Hole of Calcutta, having gone in first to get a seat. Since then, the family has known nothing but misery. And hearing this, and fearing for Lucy's safety. No?
No, Victor.
Well, perhaps you've got a better idea.
I have. It's quite simple. You have to have a quarrel.
Quarrel, huh?
Yes, then she'll give it back.
You sure?
Yes, engaged couples do it all the time. They get tense and irritable. Next thing the ring's flying through the air.
You mean she would throw the bracelet back at her?
That's right.
But if I quarrel with her, what's the point of giving her the bracelet in the first place?
You can make it up with her afterwards, once the bracelet is safely back in the shop.
Does this ever happen to you, Ken?
Of course, yes. Valerie was forever throwing her ring across the room at me. I stand up there, slip field or something else.
Why was that?
You know how it is when you're engaged. The pressures.
What pressures?
Not being married, not being single, feeling frustrated. And Val wouldn't. Would have liked to have done, but she didn't. Never would. Anyone who says she did, you can tell. No, she didn't. Not that. She wouldn't.
She didn't what?
She saved herself.
For what?
For me.
But you were there!
And I'd get tense.
Well, I'm not surprised, Kevin. You were engaged 5 years.
Kevin, Mr. Turner, the bank manager, in the hallway.
What? Turner's here? Well, they can't be overdrawn. What does he want with me?
He doesn't want to see you, he wants to see Victor.
What?
It's all right, Kevin. I sent for him.
You sent for Turner? Why did you send for Turner? Nobody sent for Turner.
I want to see about extending my credit facilities. A loan, a secured loan, or an overdraft. Could you send him through, please?
I have to make an appointment just to see him. I've only just got a Christmas card list. I was rather hoping he'd put me on the Rotary You've got to be standing in the hall.
Calm down, Kevin. I've always been on the friendliest of terms with the bank. I just wanted to continue the special relationship that I've always had with old Truscott.
There's nothing like old Truscott. He's big and ugly. He's called Tank. He used to play rugby for Bentham Old Boys and the Saracens. He still thinks he's in the scrum. When he shakes your hand, he's got a grip like a vice. You need to count your fingers against the two.
Stop jibbering, Kevin. Done my homework. Mr. Turner, good of you to come.
Well, I thought I ought to under these circumstances.
You know my brother-in-law, Kevin?
Kevin? Yes, I thought you looked familiar, yes.
Won't you go to transplant some seedlings, Kevin?
Yes. Do you know, I can never remember that fellow's name.
Nobody can, don't worry about it. Would you like a drink?
No, thank you. I'd actually rather like to get down to business.
Take a seat.
Now, I have extracted your account details from the computer, Mr. Blake, and I have them here.
That's what I like about your bank, efficiency.
Quite. Now, unfortunately, you appear to be overdrawn to the sum of £60,000 and 56 pence.
And accuracy.
What?
I like that, it gives me confidence.
Right. Well, look, this has been outstanding. This sum's been outstanding now for some considerable time with mounting interest. So that is why I have called personally.
And friendliness.
What?
Well, it is known as the friendly bank.
Well, yes.
And that's why I came to you. I took that into consideration.
Yes, well, the point is, what are you going to do about it?
Pay it off. It's been outstanding far too long.
Good. One moment. Isn't that one of our checkbooks?
Yes.
Well, I can't possibly accept that.
Aren't they any good?
Well, Mr. Blake, you're paying us back with our own money.
Well, not if you lend it to me first.
Lend it to you.
Mr. Turner, far be it for me to teach your business, but if you were to make me a secured loan of, say, £70,000, then I would pay off the overdraft and have £10,000 left for a rather attractive proposition. We could maybe forget about the 50 pence.
Yes, but Mr. Blake, you have no security. You appear to have been reduced to living here with your brother-in-law. You have no money, and you have no means.
I see you. So you only lend money to people who already have it. Isn't that rather a waste of time?
No, but we have already lent you the money, £60,000. I don't think it's unreasonable for head office to expect it back. Now, excuse me, I'm going to have to return this checkbook and your bank cards, I'm afraid, since you'll have no further use for them.
Don't worry, Mr. Turner. I've faced adversity before. If there's one thing Bentham's taught me, it's never to give up.
Oh, one moment. Did you say Bentham's?
Yes.
What, you were at Bentham's?
Well, yes.
Well, what a coincidence. Same as I. Really? Well, before your time, of course.
Wait a minute. Turner. Not the Tank Turner.
What, you've heard of me?
When I was playing for the first 15, Tank Turner was something of a legend.
You played for the first 15?
Wing and three-quarter, quadra play.
Gotcha.
But I was only there a short time before I went up to Oxford.
Oxford?
But they all remembered you, Tank. They said you were the best forward the school had ever had.
Oh, who said that? I know. Was it Pop Askew?
Of course! He said, Tank Turner is someone that we can all look up to.
Pop said that?
I never thought the day would come when I would meet the man behind the legend. And be disappointed.
Disappointed?
Not because he turned his back on a fellow Benthamian.
I'm not exactly turning my back.
I expected to meet the great Tank Turner, and what did I find? Somebody frightened of head office.
Who said I'm frightened?
I wonder what Pop Askew would say if he was here now. I remember his last words to me just before I went up to Oxford. We shook hands, and his eyes clouded over in thought, and he said, "Bottom, remember, life is one great game of rugby. There's a time to run with the ball, and a time to kick for touch. And when life gets tough, hold on tight. It's the scrum, hold on tight to your friends. And remember, the great referee is in the sky, and he can see on the blind side. And when that final whistle blows, and you reach the distant line, it doesn't matter if you've won or lost, only that you've played the game. Are you playing the game, Terry?
I'm sorry, I've got no alternative.
I thought of you the day I played against the Springboks.
You played against the Springboks?
When I was at Oxford. Yes, from 20 minutes, with a broken collarbone. And I stopped and I asked myself, now what would Tank Turner do in this situation? And I played on. I thought maybe one day I would tell him that. But I didn't expect me to play Clark.
Mr. Blake, you said a secure loan, yes? Mm-hmm. Where's your security? This looks like a map.
Not just a map, the key to a fortune.
What?
I didn't waste my time when I was out in Africa. I was a soldier of fortune, moving from one turbulent frontier to the next. I've seen sights that would freeze your blood tank. Terrible sights. Have you ever seen a man wrapped in pastry and cooked over an open fire? I have. And through all those privations, I never took my eyes off the prize. It was around that time that I met Mad Henry.
Mad Henry?
A legendary figure out there. He was already sick with malaria when I met him, dying. It's funny, talking about it here. I carried him across trackless waste for days in search of water, on my back. Seemed so far away in this suburban living room with its fake log effect burning over there. But it seems like yesterday. His eyes were burning with fever, and he reached out, and he thrust this map into my hand, and he croaked his last words. Diamonds.
Diamonds?
This map marks the point where the frontiers of Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Liberia meet. Well-known diamond country. I could get the rice for £10,000. They're simple peasant farmers. They don't like the diamonds getting in the way of the groundnuts.
Mr. Blake, you seriously expect me to advance you £10,000 on the strength of this piece of paper?
It could be worth millions. Millions? What's the matter, Tank? You find me being rich?
Oh, but Mad Henry, doesn't that imply that in some way he was mad?
They called him mad when he said he discovered the elephant's graveyard. They called him mad when he said there was oil in Madagascar. Oh, no. Mad Henry made and lost more fortunes than any man alive. And I'm willing to bet on his last words, with or without these.
Well, what are they?
Uncut diamonds.
They don't look like diamonds.
Well, uncut diamonds don't. If they look like diamonds, they wouldn't be. That's how you can tell they're diamonds. Oh, no. When these little beauties are cut and polished, they'll be worth 50,000.
Well, there we are. Why don't you just simply sell those?
Sell them? before we have the rights. You're being naive, Tank, even for a bank manager. It's a diamond consortium to find out. Our lives could be in danger. Your life is in danger just knowing of the map's existence. But there again, you've never flinched from danger, have you, Tank? Remember what Chappell said? There's a time to run with the ball and a time to kick for touch. This is a time to run with the ball.
Millions, you say?
A conservative estimate.
No, I'm sorry, I could not risk the bank's money. But I might be prepared to risk my own with the proper safeguards.
I knew I was right about you, Tank.
And I know I'm right about you, Potter. After all, I've never known an old Brentford man do anything dishonourable.
Quite. Now, if you could just make out your cheque for 10,000, time is of the essence. Oh, and if you could give me mine back, that would help to move things along.
All right, now, Mr. Potter, you will be sensible, won't you? I don't want you making any large withdrawals for the time being. You will be frugal, won't you?
Of course I'll be frugal. I can't live any cheaper than I am doing. Why do you think I'm tossing down here?
What do you think, Victor?
Ah, Lucy.
Isn't it wonderful?
This is Mr. Turner from the bank.
Oh, hello. I'm just trying on Victor's present. Isn't he generous, terribly extravagant? All diamonds. He is such a dear. Strange. So beautifully with his dress.
Yes. So how about a little appreciation? Well, come on, don't be coy, Lucy. This maiden modesty doesn't become you. You've been in mourning longer than Queen Victoria. So what if I am? If I want a drink, I'll take a drink. I'll do myself stupid if I want to. No Sunday school teacher's going to change me.
I wasn't trying to change you.
Oh, yes, you were. You're a proper little reformer, aren't you? Well, don't start banging your tambourine at me, because I was forged out there in the heat and the sun with the flies and the disease. We were freebooters, soldiers of fortune, drinking our way across every frontier town in Africa. And if that shocks you, then I suggest you settle down and marry the curator. Because where I come from, girlie, that bracelet means you're my woman.
What?
Yes, come on now. What are you waiting for? Throw it at me.
Perhaps you're right.
What?
Perhaps I have been dishonest.
No.
Oh, perhaps I am clinging onto the past.
If you want to cling to the past, then cling to it. Now throw it at me. What are you waiting for?
How can I blame you?
Blame me.
It's just that you're so different from John. You're such a quiet, sober man. He never raised his voice at me.
Didn't he? Well, I felt hearing about your wonderful husband and your perfect marriage. What I bored him?
You?
That's it, I am a brute. Now, what are you going to do about it?
I know why you're doing this.
You do?
You're madly jealous. You're jealous of a ghost. I've given you this bracelet and I haven't given you anything in return. Not even a kiss. You have every right to be angry.
Oh, I don't. I'm a brute.